And I'm really excited to have with me Dianna Jacobsen, accountant and Money Mind financial strategist, to talk about that there is more to numbers or that numbers tell a story. And with her signature sign, the magic wand, Dianna can create anything you want to for yourself when she directs you in that magic moment. The topic Dianna will share is shifting the financial energy towards intentional wealth. How do you shift financial energy coming from such a what we often describe it, and this is not meant in the negative, but that's just a descriptive word we use, dry
hmm
accounting, just numbers. Dianna, there is more to it than that. So share your insights on, shifting that energy. How do you shift? How do you work with your clients? How do you embrace shifting energy from that financial component to that much bigger, broader wealth intention?
Thank you, Sigrid. Hi, everyone. Look, I think what I've got to talk about on the financial side, it fits beautifully with what Dr. Dimitra has just talked about in her session with that shift around your mindset. I use a lot of that sort of mindset work as well with shifting beliefs, overcoming limiting belief systems and self sabotage in that field of finance, money, wealth, abundance. And I talk a lot about who is the wealthy you. And this is where we have a magic wand as the very first thing that I hand out to everyone, much to most people's surprise and kind of astonishment and bewilderment and occasionally chagrin, because we have to work out who are we as a sense of wealth within us. And that is health, well being, choices, opportunities, relationships, what we surround ourselves with, the work that we do, the people we interact with, the music we listen to, having a nice candle, nice soaps, a nice coffee mug, whatever it might be. That sense of well being, all the things that bring us that sense of joy and that little spark and that little bit of pleasure as we go through our days. And the more we can put those things just as little components through our day. So having the magic wand sitting on your desk or your counter or somewhere prominent is great because it just reminds us to look for the gifts in everything. We're talking about our gift inspired theme, and we're all hoping to bring some gifts to the listeners in some little treats or some little gems of wisdom that might improve their life or their journey. And we're all very happy to offer our time and expertise in various ways to assist and support. But we often miss all the gifts that we have or could have throughout our day. And so I always talk about who is the wealthy you. And that's not necessarily only about having a lot of money. It's about having the freedom and the flexibility and the choice. And yes, we get up, we go through our jobs, our day's work, our obligations, our children, our family, whatever's on our in our world. But the more that we can fill those uh, that perhaps Groundhog Day, as Demetra called it, with little snippets of beauty and joy and uplifting. So hence the nice China coffee mug that you might bring a little thrill to you to use, and the nice hand cream or scented candles or nice music, whatever it is, textures, sounds, smells, anything that you can bring to your day in just all those little things that just add that sense of wealth and well-being. Because money, like health, like many things, is on a vibrational level. It's like an energy. And so those dry numbers are the scorecard of what we did last week, last month, last year. But they're not set in concrete. And again, that's where we need a magic wand to say, what do we want this to look like moving forward? What do we want to put out ahead of us and work towards? And be intentional. Where can we make those changes one little piece at a time? So if we take those dry numbers into a spreadsheet, we can see that a $1 shift, a 1% shift, or a one person shift per day, per week, per unit, per widget, whatever that might be, gives us an exponential uplift. Whereas we think, oh, we need $1 million or we need something, and our subconscious just goes, yeah, that's not going to happen. That's not realistic. I'm going out to lunch. But if we can be intentional with those little steps that we just habituate and we just integrate them gradually, whether it's getting up 10 minutes earlier to fit something into our day that with intention, whether that's exercise, whether it's meditation, whether it's some focus time of our own, all of those little things are what add up to making a difference to that bottom line. It is not about forcing the numbers and beating them into submission and torturing ourselves and doing the struggle to survive stuff. If we can get into flow with what we're doing it and how we're doing it and put all those little changes in place, then we can see some huge results.
Makes all the difference, Diana. I'm just going to jump in there because, every time that you are presenting on the topic, on your topic of expertise, and you have the magic wand with you, we're talking here about shifting in this particular moment. I would venture to say, and I'm asking you to confirm this, I would venture to say that that in itself, to have a visual, most people do respond to visuals, having a visual like a magic wand could really shift our thinking direction. So you have a real magic wand there. Now, I'm all about online. Do you have a version of that for online that perhaps for our exhibitors we could give them as a gift tomorrow when we have our gifting session going on? Is there something like that available that could be given out as a just as a PDF or an image or something in the digital version to help?
I absolutely can send you something through, Sigrid. I will do that. Yeah.
Wonderful. I was just thinking that is
Yes.
just such a powerful image for me. I'm sure for others who are very visual as well. It can just make, just looking at that beautiful star there on the end of the wand. And I thought I just had to throw that in for the moment because when you're talking about that shifting into the other energy, really, isn't it? Then a visual
Mindset, attitude, mood, whatever you want to call it.
can all make a difference, can't it? So if you were to kind of summarize a little bit on the idea of when you support your clients, your customers in those areas, because you have in your business several areas of business or several segments of business, that might be a better way of describing it. You're working in the rural areas, you're out and about right now, for example, making the time, shifting your thinking to, I've got to get there, I've got to get there, to, no, this is important, I want to contribute and gift what I know. So, what would be a bit of a summary on this particular topic that
Yeah.
you're sharing now?
And I do have some things that I can send to share, and there's some things on our booth in the expo as well, because I work with people all over Australia and internationally as well.
Mm.
So we've worked on Zoom for just over 10 years, I think it is, with varying iterations of connectivity and so forth. I do a lot of driving into more rural and remote areas, but we work with a lot of small business clients all over Australia and all over the world with the strategy stuff, getting the mindset connected to the money, to the numbers, and connecting the alignment of values almost, because we can have values for our life and ourselves, but then we have limiting beliefs and values that maybe are abrasive in that money area. So that's where we just need to gently align those. So this is about being intentional, as maybe flippant or whatever as the wand seems. It is about, and I hand out a couple of trinkets to people. I hand out wands. I hand out pens to say, write down your goals, the gifts in each day, and the gains. What have you learnt? What's something that you think, oh, I want to remember that little snippet? Things that we just jotted down from some of the other sessions today. For instance, I've got a couple of pages of just little wisdoms that I want to reflect back on. So to be intentional, I hand out balloons because we want people to be uplifted and uplifting. We want to keep it light. We want to change the narrative to uplifting narrative, not things that bring us down. So again, the intentionality. And I hand out lollipops to intentionally remember and embrace the fun, the passion, the creativity, the enthusiasm, the exuberance, the dynamicism of what we do, because sometimes we get really bogged down in that groundhog stuff and we forget why we love working with the people that we're hoping to serve. So it's about setting a goal and a vision and being intentional in that, intentionally putting aside the limiting beliefs, the fears, the resistance, the self sabotage. And again, the magic wand is a symbol of that, because if we can believe in just a little magic, we can get out of our own way with some of that nonsense. They're all excuses, and we kind of use them to identify ourselves. Whereas the magic wand, occasionally people say, is that to hit someone with? Well, not necessarily, but it's to say, get out of your own way, give yourself permission. Be mindful of your mindset, what you're saying to yourself, that self-talk, what you're saying to others, but certainly what you're saying to yourself. Manage those daily tasks, those little tiny nuances and alterations, and set the intention to manage your mood, because that attitude, vibration, energy, mindset, whatever you want to call that, is really determining not just our own well-being, but that ripple effect of those around us, whether that's a small or a large circle of influence. We can never see how far that circle goes. But first and foremost, it helps us to stay aligned and uplifted, that then we can be our best selves to others. So the magic wand has lots of different facets to it, Sigrid, and I'm more than happy to be sharing that with anyone who will listen.
I just thought that it is such a lovely visual that you have. You're holding it each time, and fitting into the inspiring gift fair. It's a gift that can be handed out, and because we are in the digital world, we are in the online world. An online version of that in the form of an image, a digital image, would probably something really memorable to leave for our guests and visitors tomorrow when we are doing that other session. So I really appreciate your sharing that. As we've had before, our other speaker, each one contributes and expands our gifting idea, our ideas about gifts for others, gifting our own gifts to others, and receiving gifts from others around the world. Thank you, Dianna.
My pleasure. Thank you.